FDA has announced a chocolate bar recall over potential salmonella concerns.
And it's not the only one. In the last 3 years, major chocolate brands sold at Walmart, Target, CVS, and Whole Foods have been recalled for everything from deadly salmonella bacteria and heavy metal contamination to plastic pieces and undeclared allergens. Some brands face multi-million-dollar lawsuits. Others have been caught lying about their quality. According to Consumer Reports testing conducted in 2023, 23 out of 28 dark chocolate bars contained dangerous levels of lead, cadmium, or both. These heavy metals can cause serious health problems, especially in children and pregnant women. The chocolate industry in America is worth over $25 billion annually. Americans consume an average of 11 pounds of chocolate per person each year. That's a lot of trust placed in brands that, as we'll see, don't always deserve it. Today, we're counting down the 10 toxic chocolate brands Americans should never buy and revealing the 4 safe alternatives you can trust. Starting with number 10, Hershey's. In October 2024, the Hershey Company faced a consumer class action lawsuit over allegations that its products contain PFAS, also known as forever chemicals. The lawsuit, sparked by a report from the Grizzly Report, claimed that independent lab testing found elevated traces of PFAS in various Hershey products. 4 different laboratories tested Hershey products, and all 4 found heightened traces of these synthetic chemicals. PFAS are per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, a group of thousands of synthetic chemicals that have been used in manufacturing since the 1940s. They're called forever chemicals because they don't break down in the environment or in the human body. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, PFAS exposure has been linked to increased cholesterol levels, changes in liver enzymes, increased risk of certain cancers including kidney and testicular cancer, decreased vaccine response in children, and reproductive effects including decreased fertility and increased high blood pressure in pregnant women. The CDC has also found that PFAS can affect growth, learning, and behavior in infants and children. They can lower a woman's chance of getting pregnant and can interfere with the body's natural hormones. Hershey's is the largest chocolate manufacturer in North America, with annual revenues exceeding $11 billion. The company's products are found in virtually every grocery store, convenience store, and gas station across America. Hershey's Kisses, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, and Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bars are staples of American childhood. For a company of this size and reach, allegations of PFAS contamination are deeply troubling. While Hershey has pushed back against the lawsuit, the fact remains that independent testing by 4 separate laboratories found concerning levels of these forever chemicals in products that millions of Americans, including children, consume regularly. And speaking of concerning chemicals, that brings us to number 9, Godiva. In January 2023, Godiva faced a class action lawsuit alleging that one of its dark chocolate products contains unsafe levels of lead. The lawsuit, filed in federal court, claimed that Godiva failed to disclose to customers that its dark chocolate bars contained lead levels that exceeded California's Proposition 65 safety thresholds. California, Proposition 65 requires businesses to provide warnings about significant exposures to chemicals that cause cancer, birth defects, or other reproductive harm. Lead is a toxic heavy metal that can cause serious health problems, particularly in children. According to the CDC, there is no safe blood lead level in children. Even low levels of lead in blood have been shown to affect IQ, ability to pay attention, and academic achievement. Studies have shown that children exposed to lead are more likely to have behavior problems, learning difficulties, and lower test scores. In adults, lead exposure can cause increased blood pressure, decreased kidney function, reproductive problems including reduced sperm count, and increased risk of miscarriage, and neurological effects including memory loss and difficulty concentrating. Godiva markets itself as a premium luxury chocolate brand, with products often priced 2 to 3 times higher than mass-market brands. A single Godiva dark chocolate bar can cost $6 to $8 at retailers like CVS, Walgreens, Target, and specialty chocolate shops. American consumers pay that premium because they expect higher quality and better safety standards. They believe that a luxury brand like Godiva, founded in Belgium in 1926 and now owned by Turkish conglomerate Yıldız Holding, would have stricter quality control and safer products. But this lawsuit suggests that even premium brands can have serious contamination issues. Price doesn't always equal safety. And the contamination issues get even more widespread with number 8, Lindt. In November 2024, Lindt made headlines when the company admitted in court documents that its chocolate may not be expertly crafted with the finest ingredients as its marketing claims. The admission came during a class action lawsuit over allegations that Lindt's 70% and 85% cocoa dark chocolate bars contain elevated levels of lead and cadmium. In court documents obtained by news outlets, Lindt stated that lead and cadmium are unavoidable in the food supply, and argued that terms like expertly crafted and finest ingredients are merely puffery that no reasonable consumer would rely on. Think about that. A premium chocolate brand that charges $4 to $6 per bar is now admitting in court that its quality claims are just marketing fluff. The company is essentially saying, "We told you our chocolate was expertly crafted with the finest ingredients, but that was just advertising. You shouldn't have believed us." Consumer Reports testing found that Lindt Excellence Dark Chocolate, 85% cocoa, had some of the highest levels of cadmium among all chocolate bars tested. Cadmium is a toxic heavy metal that accumulates in the body over time and can cause serious health problems. According to the World Health Organization, cadmium accumulates primarily in the kidneys and can cause kidney damage and bone disease. Long-term exposure to cadmium can also cause lung damage and has been classified as a human carcinogen. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies cadmium as a Group 1 carcinogen, meaning there is sufficient evidence that it causes cancer in humans. Cadmium exposure has been linked to lung cancer, prostate cancer, and kidney cancer. For American consumers who have trusted Lindt as a premium brand for decades, this admission is a slap in the face. Lindt has positioned itself as a Swiss luxury chocolate brand with superior quality and craftsmanship. But when faced with a lawsuit over heavy metal contamination, the company's defense is essentially, "Our marketing claims don't mean anything." If you're finding this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more food safety investigations. And drop a comment. Did you have any of these brands in your pantry? And the heavy metal problems continue with number 7, Trader Joe's Dark Chocolate. In March 2024, a lawsuit against Trader Joe's over heavy metals in its dark chocolate was largely dismissed by a federal judge, but not before raising serious questions about the safety of the retailer's chocolate products. The lawsuit alleged undisclosed levels of lead, cadmium, and arsenic in 8 different Trader Joe's dark chocolate bars, citing the same Consumer Report study that exposed heavy metal contamination across the chocolate industry. While the judge dismissed most of the claims on technical legal grounds, the underlying issue remains. Consumer Reports found that several Trader Joe's dark chocolate products contained concerning levels of heavy metals that could pose health risks with regular consumption. Trader Joe's is beloved by millions of Americans for its unique products and affordable prices. The chain has over 560 stores across the United States and a cult-like following of loyal customers who swear by the retailer's private label products. But this lawsuit highlights a problem with store-brand chocolate. Like many retailers, Trader Joe's doesn't manufacture its own chocolate. The company contracts with third-party manufacturers, often called co-packers, who produce chocolate under the Trader Joe's label. And those manufacturers can change from batch to batch without any notice to consumers. One batch of Trader Joe's dark chocolate might come from a reputable manufacturer with excellent quality control and low heavy metal levels. The next batch could come from a different facility with contamination issues. This lack of transparency means that American consumers have no way of knowing what they're really getting when they buy store-brand chocolate. The Trader Joe's label stays the same, but the actual manufacturer and the quality of the product can vary significantly. And that lack of transparency leads us to number 6, Cadbury. Cadbury, owned by Mondelez International, has faced multiple recalls and contamination issues over the years across different countries. In May 2023, Mueller recalled various Cadbury-branded dessert products in the UK due to possible presence of Listeria monocytogenes. The recall affected Cadbury Crunchy Chocolate Dessert, Cadbury Flake Chocolate Dessert, and Cadbury Heroes Chocolate Dessert. Listeria is a deadly bacteria that can cause severe illness, especially in pregnant women, newborns, older adults, and people with weakened immune systems. According to the CDC, Listeria infections result in about 1,600 illnesses and 260 deaths in the United States each year, making it one of the deadliest foodborne pathogens. Symptoms of Listeria infection include fever, muscle aches, headache, stiff neck, confusion, loss of balance, and convulsions. In pregnant women, Listeria can cause miscarriage, stillbirth, premature delivery, or life-threatening infection of the newborn. In August 2025, Cadbury Australia recalled its Marvelous Creations chocolate due to potential plastic contamination. Imagine biting into a chocolate bar and finding pieces of hard plastic that could crack your teeth, cause choking, or damage your digestive system if swallowed. And going back further, in 2007, Cadbury faced prosecution over a salmonella outbreak that forced the company to remove 1 million products from shelves in the UK. 7 Cadbury chocolate brands were recalled due to salmonella contamination, traced back to the Marlbrook factory in Herefordshire. The 2007 outbreak resulted in dozens of confirmed cases of salmonella poisoning, with many more suspected cases. The contamination was caused by a leaking pipe at the factory, but the company continued to produce and sell chocolate for months after discovering the problem. For a brand with such a long history, dating back to 1824 and global reach, this pattern of contamination issues is deeply concerning. Cadbury is one of the most recognizable chocolate brands in the world, sold in over 50 countries. In the United States, Cadbury products are widely available at grocery stores, drugstores, and convenience stores. American consumers trust the brand because of its long history and widespread availability, but history and availability don't guarantee safety, and the contamination issues become even more recent with number 5, Spring and Mulberry. In January 2026, Spring and Mulberry, an organic direct trade chocolate brand, issued a voluntary recall that eventually expanded to 8 different chocolate bar flavors due to possible salmonella contamination. The recall started on January 12, 2026, with just the mint leaf date. Sweetened chocolate bar, affecting Lot 025-255, but by January 16, 2026, the recall had expanded to include 7 more flavors: almond sea salt, crunchy mint, hazelnut, orange, original, raspberry, and sea salt. The contamination was discovered during routine testing by a third-party laboratory. The affected products were sold nationwide at Whole Foods, natural food stores, online retailers, and specialty health food shops across all 50 states. Salmonella can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections in young children, frail or elderly people, and others with weakened immune systems. Healthy people infected with salmonella often experience fever, diarrhea that can be bloody, nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. In rare circumstances, salmonella infection can result in the organism getting into the bloodstream and producing more severe illnesses such as arterial infections, endocarditis, and arthritis. What makes this recall particularly troubling is that Spring and Mulberry markets itself as a premium, organic, health-conscious chocolate brand. The company emphasizes its direct relationships with cocoa farmers, sustainable practices, and commitment to quality. Consumers pay premium prices, often $8 to $10 per bar, because they believe they're getting a safer, cleaner product. The brand's marketing emphasizes purity, transparency, and ethical sourcing. But organic doesn't mean safe, and premium prices don't guarantee quality control. The same contamination issues that affect conventional chocolate can also affect organic chocolate. If this video is opening your eyes to what's really in your pantry, hit that like button and let us know in the comments which of these brands surprised you the most. Number 4, Ghirardelli. While Ghirardelli hasn't faced recent recalls, Consumer Reports testing found that Ghirardelli Intense Dark Chocolate 86% cacao contained elevated levels of lead. Ghirardelli is an iconic American chocolate brand founded in San Francisco in 1852 by Italian chocolatier Domenico Ghirardelli. The brand is now owned by Lindt and Sprüngli and is sold at grocery stores, drugstores, and specialty retailers across the United States. The Ghirardelli Chocolate Company operates a famous chocolate shop and ice cream parlor in San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf, a popular tourist destination. The brand is synonymous with American chocolate heritage and premium quality. For a brand with such a long American heritage and premium positioning, finding elevated lead levels is particularly disappointing. Ghirardelli charges premium prices, typically $4 to $6 per bar, and positions itself as a superior alternative to mass-market chocolate brands. Lead exposure is cumulative. Every time you eat a piece of chocolate with elevated lead levels, you're adding to your body's total lead burden. Over time, this can lead to serious health problems, especially for children whose developing brains and nervous systems are particularly vulnerable to lead's toxic effects. The American Academy of Pediatrics states that no amount of lead exposure is safe for children. Even blood lead levels as low as 5 micrograms per deciliter can cause decreased IQ, attention problems, and poor academic performance. And the toxic effects get even worse with number 3, Beyond Good. Consumer Reports named Beyond Good as one of the chocolate brands with high levels of lead, cadmium, or both in their candy. Beyond Good markets itself as a bean-to-bar chocolate company that works directly with farmers in Madagascar. The brand emphasizes transparency, sustainability, and quality. Their packaging features photos of the farmers they work with and information about the specific regions where their cocoa is grown. The company's website states that they source directly from farmers and craft chocolate from bean to bar in Madagascar. This direct sourcing model is supposed to ensure higher quality and better traceability, but transparency about sourcing doesn't mean transparency about heavy metal contamination, and working directly with farmers doesn't prevent toxic metals from ending up in the finished product. The reality is that cocoa plants absorb heavy metals from the soil. If the soil is contaminated with lead or cadmium, those metals will end up in the cocoa beans and eventually in the chocolate. This is a particular problem in regions where volcanic soil or industrial pollution has increased heavy metal levels. Some companies have adopted methods to limit heavy metals in their dark chocolates, including sourcing from regions with less contaminated soil, selecting cocoa bean varieties that absorb fewer heavy metals, and implementing processing techniques that reduce heavy metal content in the finished product. But many brands, including Beyond Good, have not taken these steps or have not been successful in reducing heavy metal levels to safe thresholds. And that brings us to number 2, Scharffen Berger. Consumer Reports also named Scharffen Berger as having high levels of lead, cadmium, or both in their chocolate. Scharffen Berger is another premium American chocolate brand, now owned by Hershey. The brand was founded in San Francisco in 1996 by Robert Steinberg and John Scharffen Berger, and quickly gained a reputation for high-quality, artisanal chocolate. The brand was part of the American craft chocolate movement, emphasizing small-batch production, high-quality ingredients, and traditional chocolate-making techniques. Scharffen Berger positioned itself as an alternative to mass-produced chocolate, targeting serious chocolate lovers and professional bakers. But premium prices and artisanal branding don't protect you from heavy metal contamination. A single bar of Scharffen Berger chocolate can cost $6 to $8. American consumers pay that premium because they believe they're getting a superior product made with better ingredients and stricter quality control. But Consumer Reports testing shows that's not always the case. The brand's dark chocolate bars contained heavy metal levels that could pose health risk with regular consumption. And the most shocking brand of all is our number 1 spot. Number 1, Pascha. Consumer Reports testing found that Pascha chocolate contained some of the highest levels of heavy metals among all brands tested. This is particularly shocking because Pascha markets itself as an allergen-friendly, organic chocolate brand specifically designed for health-conscious consumers. The brand is certified organic, fair trade, vegan, and free from the top 8 allergens: milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, wheat, soy, fish, and shellfish. Pascha's marketing emphasizes purity and safety. The company's website states that its chocolate is made with the purest ingredients and is safe for those with food allergies and sensitivities. The brand targets parents of children with food allergies, people with autoimmune conditions, and health-conscious consumers who want to avoid common allergens. But heavy metal contamination is not an allergen issue. It's a toxicity issue, and it affects everyone who consumes the product, regardless of whether they have food allergies. For a brand that specifically targets health-conscious consumers and charges premium prices, often $10 to $12 per bar, having some of the highest levels of heavy metal contamination is an absolute betrayal of consumer trust. Parents who buy Pascha chocolate for their children with food allergies are trying to protect their kids' health. They're paying premium prices because they believe they're getting a safer product. But instead, they may be exposing their children to dangerous levels of lead and cadmium. So, what can you do to protect yourself and your family? Here are 4 safe alternatives you can trust. But first, if you feel enlightened, hit that like button and subscribe for more food investigations. Also, tell me in the comments, have you used any of these 10 brands and will you keep using them after today? Now, let's talk about the safer options. Number 1. Choose brands that test below California. Proposition 65 limits. Consumer Reports found that 5 chocolate brands consistently tested below California's Proposition 65 safety thresholds for both lead and cadmium. Mast, Taza Chocolate, Ghirardelli Premium, Baking Chips 60% Cacao, Valrhona, and Ghirardelli Intense Dark, Twilight Delight 72% Cacao. These brands have taken steps to reduce heavy metal content in their products through careful sourcing and processing methods. When shopping for chocolate, look for brands that publicly share their heavy metal testing results. Number 2. Limit dark chocolate consumption. The higher the cocoa percentage, the higher the heavy metal content. This is because heavy metals are concentrated in the cocoa solids, not in the cocoa butter, or other ingredients. If you're concerned about heavy metal exposure, choose milk chocolate or dark chocolate with lower cocoa percentages, like 50% to 60% instead of 70% to 85%. and limit your consumption to a few servings per week rather than daily. The FDA and Consumer Reports both recommend limiting dark chocolate consumption, especially for children and pregnant women. Number 3, rotate brands and sources. Don't eat the same brand of chocolate every day. By rotating between different brands and different countries of origin, you reduce your exposure to any single source of contamination. Cocoa from different regions has different heavy metal profiles, so diversifying your sources can help minimize risk. For example, cocoa from Latin America tends to have lower cadmium levels than cocoa from West Africa, while cocoa from some regions of Asia may have higher lid levels. Check the label to see where the cocoa was sourced and vary your choices. Number 4. Make your own chocolate. Treats. Consider making your own chocolate desserts using cocoa powder instead of chocolate bars. Consumer Reports found that cocoa powder generally has lower heavy metal levels than finished chocolate bars. You can make brownies, hot chocolate cookies, chocolate cakes, and other treats using cocoa powder, giving you more control over ingredients and reducing your heavy metal exposure. Plus, homemade treats allow you to control the sugar content and avoid unnecessary additives. Your health is too important to trust these toxic brands. By making informed choices, you can protect yourself and your family from the hidden dangers lurking in your pantry.